Hi everyone, this is Maya Zahira with Psychic Protection Sanctuary, and you caught me, I'm just chewing up my mint. So here we are for our weekly Q&A on the Psychic Protection Sanctuary Facebook group, and so we've been trying something new where people are submitting their questions ahead of time. So I already have several questions from all of you, and that means that I can go ahead and start answering questions even as people are still joining the live. So once again, this is Maya Zahira with Psychic Protection Sanctuary, and I want to give you a couple of brief announcements before I jump in and start answering all of your wonderful questions here. So first of all, if you are new to me and what I do, and you've somehow found yourself to this video, I want to give you a little bit of info on how you can get more and how you can go deeper. So grab a pen. My website is www.psychicprotectionsanctuary.com, and there's a lot of free content on there. And then if you haven't made your way yet to my YouTube channel, I have hours and hours and hours of free video content on there as well. And the YouTube channel is Psychic Protection Sanctuary. So just type that into the search bar and you will find it. All right, so let me just mess with this a second here and see. I want to make sure that I'm seeing comments. I am. Okay, cool. Well, hello everybody who's joining, and be sure to mention where you're joining from. And if you have any questions about psychic protection, go ahead and type them in the comments and I will be sure to answer. So let's see here. Oh, and I do have one more announcement and then we'll jump into your questions. The other announcement is that right now I am enrolling 7 new students in my Psychic Protection 6-month mentorship program, and just intuitively was guided that there will be 7, and I want to give you a heads up that I started putting it out there a couple days ago, and already there are lots of people applying. So if you are interested, if you think you might be interested in going deeper with all of this content, if you feel like you are meant to do big things in this world, if you are a spiritual trailblazer and you want to help your clients or your students or your family members or yourself or your community in an even bigger way than you even thought possible with learning psychic protection tools and techniques, then I encourage you to apply for the program. You can actually get to the information by going to my website, psychicprotectionsanctuary.com, and then on the top menu, either under Need Psychic Protection or Events and Classes, it's going to be in the drop-down menu under either one of those, and it's called Psychic Protection Mentorship. It's a 6-month program, and you will learn a ton of stuff. And if you have any questions, just let me know. You can also type any questions in the comments. We are enrolling in that right now. It's filling up super fast, and enrollment ends this Saturday. All right, so enough with all the blurbs, but I did want to make sure that you knew that. And hey, Laura, I am going to answer your question, and I just saw your follow-up comments as well, so that's perfect. I'm going to actually go ahead and start off. I'm going to follow my paper here. I'm going to start off with Angela Kelly's question, and Laura, this might partly answer your question as well. So Angela was wanting to know excuse me, what is the best way to protect yourself from spirit attachments and evil spirits? So I want to just say there's not a simple answer to this. So if I just said do this one thing, that doesn't exist. Okay, I wish that was the case, but I'm going to give you some like bullet points Because here's the thing, and I haven't followed up with Angela on this question, but the way that it's worded, the best way to protect yourself from spirit attachment and evil spirits, most of the time when someone has that question, it's because they've had a reoccurring issue throughout their life. So they might be having an issue right now, or they had something recently, but when they look back honestly on their life, they see that it's been a recurring issue. And so because of that, we have to take a very holistic, multifaceted approach. Okay. And I have worked with these kinds of issues for a long time, worked on healing my own issues with this, as well as helping lots and lots of clients and students. So I know this is the truth. I want to say hi to a couple more people. Hi, Melissa. Hi, Zahira. And happy birthday, Zahira. I hope you're having a great day. Okay, so what's the best way to protect yourself from spirit attachments and evil spirits? So from spirits attaching to you or being under attack by negative entities. Okay, so if you want to get the most out of this video, grab a pen and paper, and I'm going to give you some bullet points. These are basics, but at least it's going to give you an idea, right? So the first bullet point is a combination of daily management and clearing. Okay, so let me go deeper into that. So that's bullet point number 1. We have 3 bullet points. Hey, you guys. Okay, so glad to see everybody. So glad to see all of you here. So a combination of daily management and clearing. So a lot of people are kind of hoping that they can do the McDonald's drive-through version of clearing out an acute issue or a chronic issue. Usually it's chronic. And it's just impossible. That's just not going to do it. It's going to come back. So you have to have daily management. And by daily management and clearing, I mean like, okay, I'll give you 2 because it would take me forever. Like I'd be going through my whole course with you if I gave you everything. But I'm going to give you 2 that are really easy and basic, okay, of daily management clearing tools. The first one is to burn frankincense resin. And frankincense has been used for such a long time to do exorcisms. You know, in the Christian and Catholic tradition, they've used it for such a long time for exorcisms, and there's a reason for that. It's because it works in clearing out negative entities. But if you've got a horrible bug infestation in your home or around your space, you're not going to just spray a couple of spritzes of bug spray and just hope that it goes away. You have to keep at it. And I use this analogy a lot. One of my mentors explained it to me this way, and it makes so much sense. So you have to have a daily maintenance, daily clearing maintenance. So I would recommend, if you don't know exactly what to do, at least try burning frankincense resin. And I don't mean the incense sticks, because those are usually fake perfume. And so what you can do, since you may or may not have access to my my program, if you have access to my program, like the 6-month program that I was talking about, I go through all of this with you. But I also know not everybody can do that. I want you to have what you need. So you could actually go to YouTube and just type in how to burn frankincense resin, and it'll give you a decent idea of what to do and what you need to order or buy from your local metaphysical store. So first bullet point is daily management clearing, and I gave you one idea, frankincense. The other daily management clearing technique that you could use that's super easy and doesn't take a big long video explanation is salt baths. Salt baths are amazing for clearing your energy, and the basic way to do it is to use sea salt or Epsom salts. Really any kind of salt will do. I just kind of put whatever amount I feel like in there, but you could put like a cup in there into your bath water. Salt is really drying though, so I always put coconut oil in there, but you could put anything in there to provide moisture. And then it's also fun and helpful to put some essential oils in there, like frankincense oil or 1 drop of rose essential oil, or any of your other protective oils. And we're not going to get into all of the protective oils, but just salt, just a salt bath is amazing at clearing your aura. So if you did those 2 things as daily maintenance every single day, whether it's in the morning or the evening, if you're having chronic issues with spirit attachments or evil spirits, you're going to notice a reduction in the issues. Now, if you're having a really severe issue where that's not enough and if that's not enough and that's not working, you probably do need at least a little bit of expert guidance. Somebody like me who can tune in intuitively and see exactly what techniques are going to work for you, rather than just doing the spaghetti technique where you're throwing spaghetti against the wall and seeing what works. And then meanwhile, you're being terrorized in your house. So just come to me and I can help you get a targeted approach. So the number 1 way to protect yourself is daily management clearing. So that's the first bullet point. Second bullet point, because there's 3 things that you need to do in this multifaceted approach. Oh, we got more people joining us. Phyllis, hello. You're late to the party. Yeah. Hey, Sherry, it is really good to see you. So the second aspect of this multifaceted approach is, I'm going to call it prayers and grounding. Now, you don't have to be a religious person. You could just sit in silence. But if you are a spiritual or a religious person, then you absolutely need to spend time every single day connecting with your spiritual source, whatever that is for you. Okay, whatever it is for you. If it's God, if it's Goddess, if it's the universe, if it's Mother Earth, Gaia, or like, a million other things that it could be, you connect with that. Okay. The thing that I noticed from my own experiences and those of the clients that I've worked with is that if you haven't taken the time or bothered to establish a healthy, strong, stable relationship with what I'm going to call your spiritual support team, if you haven't developed that, and then all of a sudden you find yourself under psychic attack of some kind, and then you're calling out to them, you might receive some assistance, but you might not get the amount of assistance that you would like. And it's not that they're holding back from you, it's that you don't have those channels established and that support system isn't established. And so it's vital for you to, on a daily basis, to connect with divine source, connect with your spiritual support system, whatever that is, as well as grounding. So both connecting spiritually, crown chakra, and connecting your root chakra, connecting with the earth. And I'm a big proponent, you guys see me outside all the time, big proponent that the very number 1 top way of grounding is simply taking off your shoes and putting your feet on the ground, not cement, but grass or dirt. Putting your feet on the ground is a zillion times more effective than doing like a grounding meditation, or even carrying a piece of hematite or some other gemstone or crystal that's supposed to be grounding. Putting your feet directly on the earth works a zillion times better. So even just doing it for 10 minutes. So you could combine the techniques in bullet point number 2. You could go outside, put your feet on the ground, and do your meditation like all at once, right? Hey, Erica, good to see you. Haven't seen you. I feel like I haven't seen you in a while. Maybe I have. I just don't remember. Okay, so we're going over some of the best ways to protect yourself from spirit attachments and evil spirits. Number 1 was daily clearing techniques. Number 2 was consciously, on a daily basis, developing and strengthening your relationship with your spiritual support team and with the earth. And then the third thing is trickier. It's not as easy to just describe in a clear-cut way. I mean, I'm going to put it in a phrase, but you could take it a million different directions. The third thing on the bullet list is that you absolutely need to heal past traumas. So if you're taking notes right now, I want you to write down heal past traumas. The truth is, if you have past emotional traumas or physical traumas or energetic spiritual traumas, that makes you more of a target to psychic attack in the present time. It's not saying this to scare you, it's just the truth. And when I was healing my own vulnerabilities to psychic attacks, to ongoing chronic entity issues, this is the message that I received when I asked, okay, people are having these issues, but how can they completely resolve it without having to constantly be going through spiritual warfare all the time and be like hyper-vigilant fighter all the time? And this was a direct message that I received, that you absolutely have to heal past traumas. Well, raise your hand if you've had past traumas, like all of us, right? Like all different kinds of things that each of us has been through. And like, were you able to heal it in a 5-minute meditation or even a 1-weekend retreat? No, it takes a lifetime. It takes years and years to work through your layers of stuff. And so this bullet point 3 is a lifetime practice of working through your wounds, working through your issues. You could do this just on your own through going and connecting with the earth and just letting the earth heal you and lying back on the ground every day. You could do it through going to therapy. You could go to a spiritual support group, like one of the programs that I offer, Sacred Healing Circle. You could, let's see, I mentioned therapy. You can journal. You could go to transformational weekend retreats. You can do EFT tapping. EMDR is a psychology technique as well. I mean, there's so many different techniques that can help you heal your past traumas. Okay, so that is the complicated answer to Angela Kelly's question, what's the best way to protect yourself from spirit attachments and evil spirits? So you've got your 3-pronged approach. Daily clearing, daily connecting with divine source and with earth. And number 3, ongoing practice of consciously working on healing your past traumas. And what you'll find, if you practice these 3 things ongoing, you're going to find that over time, any chronic issues that you've had of oversensitivity or being a spirit magnet, those kinds of things, you're going to see that over time, those issues are going to reduce. And like I said, it's not a McDonald's drive-through. It takes some time and commitment. Okay. So, Melissa is saying, darkness loves when we are weakened by trauma. Yes. So if we've had emotional trauma, if we've suffered abuse growing up or as an adult, an abusive relationship, abusive work situation. So that's like emotional abuses, or chronic stress. Like if you're in a horrible life-sucking job for a long time, that can be traumatic for your energy field. And then physical traumas, like a major accident or a major surgery, major illness. And then spiritual trauma would be if you've been under a spiritual warfare type of attack in the past. It tends to make you vulnerable then in the future. It's like it puts a mark on your energy field. But like a little beacon that says, hey, everybody else, come and attack me. And the same thing with being a victim. Have you noticed that, like on a subtle level, people who are abusers are people, not ghosts, but this applies to ghosts too. But individuals who are abusers, are like naturally attracted to the ones who've been victims in the past, and it's like they can feel it on a subtle level. The good news is you can heal it. It just takes time. Okay. All right. So moving on to Laura Lyon's question. Laura was wondering, does she need daily, where should she start? Does she need daily maintenance? Is that the first thing to start with? And then I followed up with Laura and asked, well, that depends. Are you currently under a psychic attack, or are you just learning about all of this in order to just be more aware and be prepared, and to reduce your chances of it happening in the future? And she followed up with me, and I think I understood her response that she is currently having some issues and working with a healer on resolving those issues. So what I would say to you, Laura, is that I would clarify from the other 3 bullet points that I just did. If you are currently under psychic attack, there's a difference between daily maintenance techniques and acute clearing. So, like, for example, just like doing your prayers and establishing a relationship with your spiritual support team, that doesn't usually make an entity attachment go away, for example. And this is where a lot of spiritual teachers and spiritual healers really do a disservice to their clients when their client comes to them and says they're having a psychic protection issue, and the practitioner says, well, just visualize white light and call in your angels. And then that doesn't work. And then the client is blamed. Like, well, you must not have been doing it, focusing on it hard enough or whatever. and it's not the client's fault. It's that typically doesn't work. It's just not, it's more of a maintenance type of activity. So the prayer is more of an establishing your foundation, right? So, what I was seeing for you, Laura, and Melissa is saying, gotta bust out the big guns. Yeah. So, number 1, Laura, I got a really strong flash that you need to be wearing a protective amulet. And we actually talked about that in last week's Facebook Live. Was it last week's or the week before? I can't remember. And I think I know that you already might be wearing one. And so you need that. So keep wearing it. If you haven't been wearing it, you need to be wearing it. That I'm just getting intuitively, that's your number 1 protective tool for you specifically. Okay. And then let me think here. Okay, so for you specifically, Laura, again, I'm going to keep the technique simple but if you want more in depth, then talk to me about my program, because I really feel like it would help you a lot, especially in the role that you're in. I think it would be vital information for you, but no pressure. I want to give you a couple of tools that you can run with right away. And your healer has probably already told you these, okay? Because she's awesome. So burning either frankincense or whatever resin she has indicated that you should burn. You should be doing that every single day, and I think you should be doing it at night before you go to bed. And Laura, yes, you need to wear your protection, especially when you're sleeping, okay? Number 2, the salt baths that I just talked about would be very helpful for you. And then thirdly, I'm seeing something specific for you, to use rose essential oil. Rose isn't a clearing or protection oil, but what it does is it's very high vibration, and it raises your vibration. And the higher your vibration, the more you are not, it's harder for them. It's an energetic mismatch for them. They're not able to connect with you, any negative entities. So I see you putting a little dab of rose oil, like on your third eye, on your crown, on your throat, on your heart, especially these upper chakras. just like the tiniest dab. And I know that your healer has a lot of information because she's taken my program. So you can get more from her, or you can go deeper and just learn it straight from me. Either way, you now have three techniques that you can either continue doing or add to your regimen if you haven't been doing them already. Alrighty, and let's look at comments here. Melissa is saying, I wear mine all the time unless I'm showering or swimming. Yep, me too. Yeah, I've got this stuff on all the time. Wanda is asking a question, and I'm going to answer that, and then I'm going to go on to a couple of other questions. So Wanda is saying, what about a family curse? Okay, so I'm just pausing because I'm not sure how to answer this because I don't know your exact situation. So let me just explain a little bit about how I work. When I work with a client one-on-one, I will tune in and identify whether there actually is a family curse and an ancestral issue, and what exactly it's all about. If it's causing the people in the family line to be under attack by spiritual beings, or if it's some other kind of psychic attack, causing misfortune and that sort of thing. And then we look at techniques for clearing it. And honestly, every situation is different. Every single client that I've worked with who has had an ancestral psychic protection issue, every single one of them, the exact issue has been unique and the solutions have been unique. However, Wanda, I don't remember exactly when you joined, but I think that all of the tips that I've given so far since the very beginning of the video will be really helpful for you. And then also, when you're dealing with a family curse, I usually recommend some kind of a personal ceremony that you go through where you are making a proclamation of your sovereignty and freedom, and that you are now released from that family curse. Again, there's a lot of steps to the way that I recommend it, and that's part of my 6-month program. But hopefully that description will give you an idea, and you could, if you wanted to, just kind of create something, because you don't have to do it exactly how I do it. Sometimes it's even more powerful when the idea comes from your own heart. So in addition to the other psychic protection techniques that I recommended a little while back, when it comes to a family curse, oftentimes you do have to really take some powerful intention steps in proclaiming your sovereignty and releasing from that energy. And I find that using candle magic, using one or more candles within whatever ritual you decide to create is very powerful. So I would definitely use fire with it. Okay. And just for those of you who are a little bit newer to my Facebook Lives, I don't do personal readings. During the Facebook Live, I answer questions about psychic protection in general. However, a lot of times the area does get kind of gray, like I'll be answering someone's question and, about basic psychic protection, and then I get an answer that's specific for them. But I only go that far with it. So if anybody is really struggling and really wanting to get to the bottom of the issue, then just follow up with me, and we would do a one-on-one session, or we would do the 6-month course. So you're welcome, Laura. Hey, Kathy, very good to see you. And Wanda says thank you. You're welcome. I hope that at least got you started a little bit on your answers. And now we're going to go on to the next question, which was submitted ahead of time. And this is from Susan Babcock. And she's asking, how do I stop feeling everyone else's energy? So when you're feeling everybody else's energy, that is called being an empath. So Susan, you might already know that, but in case anybody who's watching doesn't know that vocabulary term, being an empath, there's actually a lot of books out there about managing your empath abilities, your sensitivities. But I'll give you a couple of tips. First of all, in the thread where Susan posted your question, where you posted your question, I found one of my old videos on YouTube that's in my psychic protection playlist, and it's called Empath Survival Tips, and it's like an hour or 90 minutes long where I go really deep, giving you all sorts of tips. But because I wanted to make sure I posted that, and you guys can look that up as well, because during this Facebook Live, I tend to answer more rapid fire, quickie answers just to get you started. But I am going to give you a couple, if you don't have time to go look up that video or you don't really want to, I'm going to give a couple of tips for those of you who are feeling challenged by all of the sensitivities and feeling all of the other people's emotions and other people's feelings all the time. So there's 2 tips that I'm going to give you. So if you're taking notes, grab your pen. The first is that you need to ground every single day. If you know that you are sensitive, that you are an empath, you absolutely have to ground every single freaking day. And Kathy just joined us a minute ago. She's probably watching this like applauding and cheering, because she's one of my mentors who really connected me with with earth energy many years ago when I first attended her women's circle. And like I was saying before, it's all great and wonderful to do a meditation where you're visualizing grounding, but it just doesn't do the same as actually taking your feet off and putting your bare feet on the ground. And if you are sensitive, it's even more vital that you do that. And if you have a really busy life, I totally get it, but you need at least 10 minutes. If all you can manage is 10 minutes, do 10 minutes, okay? If you're super busy, just know that the rest of your day is going to go so much more smoothly if you just take that 10 minutes. So you do have time for it, because it's going to make your day flow better. Whereas if you don't take those 10 minutes, everything else is going to take you longer. That is just how it works. So you have to discharge all of that extra energy that you've picked up from other people. And so even if it's cold outside, just bundle up. If it's too cold to take your shoes and socks off, just go bundle up and sit outside in the sunshine or in the shade under a tree, but get yourself outside. The best way is to plant your feet in the ground, on the ground. And Karen is saying, does it have to be outdoors? Yes, that is the point. Is you have to take your shoes off and put your feet on the ground, on dirt or on grass. And there is literally a physiological effect that happens. There's a whole bunch of stuff that scientists have proven, all these different processes that happen in your body when you do this. So if you're feeling overwhelmed by all of your sensitivities, literally, I'm not just in a woo-woo way, but literally putting your feet on the earth will discharge that extra energy that's making you feel scattered and overwhelmed and depressed and anxious and foggy brained and all of that. You will feel a zillion times better. Even if you're not an outdoorsy type, think of it as like you're taking your daily vitamins. It's going to make such a huge difference for you, I promise. So you have to do it. Mama Maya says you have to do it. All right, so for those of you who are sensitive, number 1 tip is you must ground every day. It not only discharges all of that excess energy, but it strengthens your own energy so that when you go out to the grocery store next time, you're not going to feel so bombarded, or when you're at work, or when you're at your family reunion or whatever, where the energy is weird. you're going to be able to handle it better. But you have to do this practice every day. And if for some reason you're like, I can't do 10 minutes, then seriously, just do 5. Something is better than nothing. And it's more about doing it steadily, ongoing. So every day, you will notice a cumulative effect over time. Okay? Cannot preach this enough. It's part of the reason why I moved out to the country, because that's how important it is. The number 2 little easy tip for managing your sensitivities is a little questioning process. So if you're going through your day and all of a sudden you're like, ugh, all of a sudden I just feel really tired, or all of a sudden I just feel really depressed or really anxious, or whoa, I have this headache that came on like out of nowhere, then you ask yourself this question. Is it mine, or is it coming from somewhere else? Is it mine, or is it coming from somewhere else? And then you're going to get your answer. Oh, it's not even mine. You recognize it's not mine, and then you just let it go. You let it, for me, I will feel like it flows out the top of my head, or I'll release it down into the ground. But you just let it flow out of you like it's water, rather than constricting and saying, oh my God, I don't want to have this headache right now. You just let it move out. Think of it as information. It's just information. Just like I can look across there and see a tree. That's information, what I'm seeing, what you're feeling empathically within you. It's just information. So when you don't take it so personally and you say, oh, it's just information, I can let it go. Okay? So grounding, ask yourself that question, is this mine? And Karen is saying, but I am listening and will do it. Yay! I'm so glad. I'm so glad that you will. Awesome. And our last question is from Zahira. And she's asking, when do I know if a mirror or a reflective surface, like a mirror, like a pool of water or whatever, so how do I know when a mirror is acting as a portal? So we talked about mirrors and portals a couple of Facebook Lives ago. And so I'm not going to define all of that all over again, but I will answer your question. So let me just give a little quickie explanation, though, for the rest of you. So a portal is an energetic doorway where energies and spiritual beings can easily pass through. If you ever saw the movie Stargate, I think it was, I don't remember what year that came out, but they even had a TV series after the movie. And it's like this Stargate wormhole thing opens up, and like people can pass through from like one part of the, of the cosmos to another. And it's kind of like that. That's what a portal is, except for spiritual beings. And so a spiritual being could come from like some other place in reality and come right into your home, even if you've got great protection set up all around the perimeter of your house and your land, but you haven't checked to see if you have any energy portals in your house. Your protection could be absolutely perfect around your house, but there's still spirits getting into your house, and it's because you have a portal or more than one portal. And we talked about in that past Facebook Live, we talked about how one of the common things that can act as a portal are mirrors. Mirrors are, I will tell you this, Zahira, that mirrors are almost always portals, but it also depends on, so this is a tricky thing. Like they basically all mirrors are portals, but it's a matter of whether they're open or not. And the thing is, if you have had chronic issues with psychic protection kinds of problems, then anybody who that describes, I would recommend that you get rid of or cover up all of your mirrors, except you probably don't want to get rid of the mirror in your bathroom. So if you're having spirit activity in your house, keep that door closed. You definitely don't want a mirror in your bedroom when you're sleeping. I went and did a house clearing a few months back, and there was a mirror with an open, that had an open portal. It was an open doorway, and it was facing this person's bed. So every night stuff was coming through and messing with this person. And so I told her, you have to cover this even before you go to bed tonight. Even if it takes you a while to get it, this big Mongo piece of furniture out of your house, you've got to cover it with something that's not see-through. Now, the other answer that I'll give you, Zahira, is I know that you applied for the 6-month program, and yay, I'm excited about that. I want to tell you that you'll learn techniques in the 6-month Psychic Protection Mentorship where you'll be able to discern whether a mirror or any other object, piece of furniture, anything is problematic or is acting as a portal. You'll learn a technique where you can check for that. And so right now, since you don't know that technique yet, I would just assume that if it's a mirror, since you've had some ongoing issues, that you just remove those mirrors, put different decor up instead, and especially if it's in your bedroom. That's what I would tell anybody. Okay, so I hope that helps answer your question. And we have gone for it. It seems like it usually takes us about 40 minutes to go through all of our questions, and that was the case today as well. We had a lot to talk about, and I really appreciate all of you coming on, and we had a really nice big group here today. And so until further notice, I do plan to do this Q&A every single week. And I'm going to answer Zahira's question. A glass picture frame too. So do you mean if it's reflective? If it has like a mirror? If it's a mirrored picture frame? Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. For you, I would say remove anything that's mirrored. However, if it's a big mirror that's like one piece of mirror, that's going to be more likely to act as a portal rather than something that has a picture in the middle of it and its mirror around it. So anyway, yeah, so I look forward to teaching you that technique, Zahira, so you'll be able to identify specifically. But I know you're very intuitive, and the fact that you're wondering about that frame tells me that you know in your gut that there's an issue with that object. See what I'm saying? And so because of that, I would recommend that you just take it down for a while. And you don't have to get rid of it. You could just take it down and see what happens. Take it down, cover it with some cloth, see what happens. That's always, yeah, and Zahira, you're saying it's just glass. Even though it's just glass, I get the sense that your gut, your like spidey sense is telling you that there's something off with that object. So you can take it down. And like I said, and this goes for everybody, if there's an object in your home that feels weird or you're not sure about it, you don't have to throw it away. If it's special to you, just take it down, cover it up, put it away like out in the garage or something in a box, and just put it away for a month or two and just see what happens. And then you can always decide to take it back out and put it up. Okay? So we are about done here. We're winding things down. And again, I plan to do these Q&A Facebook Lives every Monday at 6 p.m. U.S. Central Time, live on the Kansas Prairie. That's the Kansas Prairie right behind me. And I love that I can do a lot of these videos outside. But it's fall now, and so we are going to be getting into getting dark sooner. So we're going to have some of our Facebook Lives inside in my office, but I've got a beautiful altar space that you'll be able to see behind me. probably for the next, well, in a couple of weeks. It's going to be dark early. Oh, I brought this out because those of you who were asking questions about daily clearing and everything. Hello, Harrietta. Very good to see you. You're welcome, Karen. I don't want to seem like I'm plugging my book. That's not what this is about. But the reason I wrote this book is to help you guys and to have a resource for those of you who need it. Like, that's the reason why I wrote it, was so that we could get this information out there in a way that's easy for people to follow. So I do recommend this book for, well, those of you who are wanting to know more about daily techniques and about emergency clearing techniques. I go through step by step. If you've had an issue with false light entity, if you know what that is, or if you want to know what that is, this book talks about it. And it's a really good investment. It really is. Honestly, I don't make the big bucks off of this book, you guys. I wrote this. It's a labor of love, and it's just to help give you the resources that you need. It's only like $17 or something like that on Amazon. Darkness Disguised as Light, The Hidden Truth About Psychic Protection and the Illusion Matrix. And if you just search my name, Maya Zahira, Zahira, on Amazon, you'll find the book. Yay, Phyllis, I'm so glad that you liked the book. Awesome. One final announcement reminder. If you missed the beginning of the video, I was saying that I'm taking registrations right now, applications, I should say. I'm taking applications right now for my Psychic Protection Mentorship Program. It's a 6-month program, and I'm going to be bringing on 7 new students. And the thing is once I started to put that out there a couple of days ago, I've gotten so many applications, like a lot. And so if you're interested, I want you to go ahead and go to my website, psychicprotectionsanctuary.com, and find the mentorship. It's in the menu drop down. Find the mentorship program and read about it. If it really resonates for you, then go ahead and apply. And if it doesn't, then no big deal. But if you think of anyone that it would resonate with, then send it to them. Okay? Because we need more trailblazers and more spiritual warriors doing this work, whether it's for yourself, to heal yourself, or to work with your clients or your students. And Phyllis is saying, I saw your book at Aquarius and I almost screamed, I know her! Yay, that's awesome! That's awesome. Laura, you're wanting to know how often we meet with the mentorship. Go on over to the website and you'll be able to see all of the details there. And then if you have any other questions from there, you can email me from my website. Or if you already know that you want to do it, just fill out the application. And then after you do the application, then we set up a Zoom video where we get to talk face-to-face over computer, and it's really easy. I just send you a link, and then I can answer your questions that way too. All right. Yeah, so I see questions about the program. Just go on, instead of taking a long time to go over that now, because not everybody is interested in that. All the information you need is on the website. And like I said, you can email me. I'm happy to answer any questions once you've read everything on the website. Anything else you want to know, just email me. All right, you guys, thank you so much. And I will see you next Monday. And be blessed. Until next time.